In this Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree video, we're going to be covering a few tips on how to beat Messmer the Impaler, who should be the last boss you fight in Shadowkeep. Before we get into the actual fight, it's important to note that upon entering the boss arena, you can actually summon Hornsent if you assisted him in the early part of Shadowkeep, where you had the choice of assisting Hornsent or Lida. His summon sign will be on the right side of the arena upon entering. If you want to progress his questline properly, you have to summon him in this boss fight, otherwise he'll be sad and dejected afterwards. I definitely recommend this boss after defeating Commander Gaius, because after that boss, you gain access to the Erdtree Chalice, which gives you 5 Erdtree fragments. For the entirety of this fight, I recommend trying to stay as close to Messmer as possible. He uses a long-reaching lance and ranged spells which make it hard to attack from a range. It will be much easier to dodge his attacks and flame spells up close. At the start of this fight, Messmer can start with a few of his moves. The most common is his jumping explosion, possibly his grab attack, or any one of his normal combos. For the jumping explosion, this is actually pretty easy to dodge in the first phase. To dodge the attack, dodge at the exact time he emits a white flash before jumping down, then dodge with a slight delay afterwards to dodge the aftershock explosion. You get an opportunity for some damage after you dodge this. For the grab attack, definitely learn the timing for it as it actually one-shots most builds at this phase of the game. For his first basic attack combo, he'll do 2 quick sweeping attacks, a flame spear up thrust, a flame spear sweeping attack, a jumping flame spear up thrust, and then a flame spear falling attack. For this attack, you want to quickly dodge the first 2 strikes in succession, then wait a bit for the up thrust, dodge with a slight delay for the sweep, then again wait for the next up thrust and try to get behind him on his falling attack. Make sure you can differentiate between this attack and the special attack version, which summons extra spears after he does the falling spear attack, which you need to look out for. His next basic attack combo is a flame spell swipe into a flame spear thrust, into a dashing flame spear thrust, and into a flame spear 360. For this attack, you want to first dodge the fire spell backwards. If you're point blank and can't dodge backwards, then dodge into the right, since dodging to the left may make you take some damage. Then dodge into him for the thrust, then wait for the delay after the dash and dodge into the next thrust, and dodge any direction for the flaming spear 360. You should probably dodge into him to try to be as close as possible, and you get a free hit after this combo. You will sometimes also do a flame swipe into a backwards 360 if you're too close. For that attack, just dodge backwards for the flame spell and then dodge into the flame 360 so you can get some damage in. For this last basic combo, he uses a dashing thrust, then he uses a flame spell, then he does another thrust, and then a 360 fire spear attack. If you can dodge the other basic combos, this is pretty simple to dodge. You dodge into the thrust, dodge the flame spell to the right, dodge into the thrust again, and then dodge anywhere for the 360 spear. If you successfully dodge this, you can get an attack in. Moving on from his basic combos, let's talk about his special attacks. The first and easier to dodge special attack starts with spinning 360 airborne sweeps, then an up thrust spear, then a falling spear attack. For this attack, you want to dodge into him for the first 360 spins, and then dodge the next 2 attacks in the same way you dodge the basic attacks. The next, much harder to dodge special attack starts with spinning airborne 360 sweeps, then goes into multiple consecutive thrust attacks, into a falling spear, and then summons spears from the ground. For your first dodge, dodge left and towards Messmer for the initial 360 sweeps, and then dodge into Messmer to get as close as possible to him for his thrust attacks. There is a sweet spot here where you won't get hit a single time, but even if you don't get it, you'll likely only be hit once by dodging into him. After that, you simply dodge the falling spear attack, and don't forget to dodge the summoned spears from the ground. Moving on to phase 2, he will always start with a more damaging version of his phase 1 explosion attack. This time, unfortunately there's no white flash to give you a hint, so my best advice is to just roll it when the snake head goes off the screen, and then make sure to roll the aftershock as well. After his basic combos, you'll still have the opportunity to attack, but you'll need to dodge right after doing it since he gets an extra thrust attack at the end of his combos. Since this attack is super delayed, you'll just have to do the damage and then immediately roll the rush. Another new attack he has is where he unnaturally slithers forward, does a quick sweep, and then quickly goes back. You unfortunately have no damage opportunity after he does this. The big change in this phase is that he now has a bunch of ranged snake attacks. In one of them, he transforms into a snake and then does a 3-hit combo. Each strike in between has a slight delay, and you can basically dodge in any direction. Once he finishes this combo and the snake rests its head, you can actually hit him and the snake at the same time for some bonus damage. He also sometimes only does one ranged attack as he transforms into the snake. The last attack I want to talk about for this phase is when he summons a bunch of miasma on the floor. If you can't see him in the center of the miasma, he's charging up for a singular ranged snake attack. If you dodge this, you can actually hit him and the snake at the same time, similar to the 3-hit combo. However, if he is in the center of the miasma, this is his killer move. He'll start with an explosion that deals a bunch of damage if you're too close to him, so make sure you run away from him when he starts this move. The attack starts with one ranged snake, then a delayed ranged snake, and then the next delayed snake will actually be 2 in quick succession. Then after that, he'll immediately do his falling spear and floor summon spear combo. So basically the rhythm you want to have for this combo is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, this is one of the harder bosses in the DLC, so I definitely recommend defeating Gaius first so you can get a bunch of those Erdtree fragments.